The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) is currently undertaking a nationwide continuous voters registration exercise. This exercise is currently on its third and final phase, and it comes to an end on the 10th of July 2026. This process started since last year, May 11th, 2025, and there have been different stages, and this is the last. This continuous voters registration exercise is critical because it allows for those who have damaged or misplaced their PVC to register again and get their PVCs replaced. Those who have reached the voting age of 18 and have never voted before can now register to be able to get their PVCs and allow them to vote. Those who also have changed their location can transfer their information and get a new PVC to allow them to vote in their new location. If you live in Nigeria, I'm sure that you've seen a social media post, a campaign, or rally that has been calling for Nigerians to take part in this continuous voters registration exercise to ensure that they take part in the voting exercise next year, 2027, where we have a critical election coming up. My name is Veronica Panagige, and welcome to the Governance Discourse, where I keep you updated on critical national issues, policy, governance, and help you to get an understanding of these issues as well. I also share opportunities to shape your political growth, awareness, and participation. Today, I will be breaking down the INEC's continuous voters registration exercise, why this registration is important, why everyone should be part of it, why everyone needs to get their family members, needs to get their communities engaged with this process. We all see what's happening in our country, and in order for you to be able to participate in the electoral process, you need your permanent voters card. And in order for you to get that voters card, you need to register with INEC as a voter, right? You need to register with INEC as a voter. And INEC has opened this continuous voters registration exercise since last year. If you haven't taken part in the exercise, don't worry. It's not too late. Don't worry, it's not too late. You have till July 10th to do that, to be part of it. But please ensure that you do that. Help your family members, friends, update. You can do that on the website. If you have already registered as a voter on the INEC portal, you have voted before, you have your PVC, and you want to update, transfer your information, or do that, you can do that online. It's easy. Click of a button. You need the INEC portal. You click on it. You follow the process that they break down the steps. You fill in your information, and you're done. It's as easy as one, two, three. You don't need to go to the INEC office, right? But if you want to go to the INEC office, they can help you do that as well. But it's easy that they have made it that you can do it at the convenience of your own home, right? But if you're a first-time voter, you need to be able to go and capture and also take your biometrics for you. So you need to visit the INEC office to do that. The registration process closes in a couple of days right now, so you need to, take part in that process right now. So I'm going to be breaking down the annual continuous voters registration exercise, why it's important that you need to take part in it as Nigerians. So let's start our conversation to understand what the continuous voters registration process is about. Why is INEC starting the process or started the process last year? Why is this process important, and why should you, if you haven't already, take part in this exercise? So the first thing is that this voter registration exercise helps eligible voters to be registered as voters. This means that your name is on the register and you're eligible to vote, right? INEC then takes your information and produces a permanent voters card for you. This permanent voters card allows you to vote come election day, right? That's why you need your PVC, because no PVC, no voting. And the continuous voters registration exercise is the one that helps you to be on the voters register of Nigeria and then allows INEC to produce the PVC for you, which would be a tool to help you vote come election. That is why a lot of people are saying, let's take part in this process, right? It allows you if you're a first time voter. So if you're a first time voter, this is your first time voting, you just clocked 18, or you have been 18 and never taken part in registering as a voter, it allows you to now register as a voter in Nigeria. If you have moved from one location to another, so let's give an example. If you've relocated from Abuja to Lagos, or you have relocated from Kaduna to Kano, meaning that your previous point of voting was in Kaduna, and now that you've moved to Kano, you're not going to be able to vote in Kano. You would have to vote in Kaduna. So if it's time for election, you have to go back to Kaduna. But if you don't want to do that, you can transfer your voter information from Kaduna to Kano. If you've moved from Abuja to Lagos, you can do that, meaning that you can now vote in your new location. So INEC is obtaining the register for people to be able to update their information. So if your information has changed, before when you registered you're a student, you've graduated, you're no longer a student again, you can now update your information and then your PVC will now reflect that. Right? If you've transferred from one location to the other, like I previously stated, you can now update that information. So that's why it's important. If you've lost your PVC, if your PVC has been damaged, this is the best time for you to be able to update your information. Right? So it's very simple. You go to the INEC portal, you click, you follow the process, and your information will be updated. If you're the first time voter, your information will be captured. You have to also go to the INEC office for the next step, capturing your biometrics. So it's really a simple, easy process. If you're just transferring or if you're just updating your information, you can do that on your phone. You click, you fill in your new information, you update, you capture yourself, you do like a face picture capturing, smiley face and straight face, and you upload it and the process will be done. INEC will now inform you of the next step when your PVC is ready for pickup and you just go and pick up at your location to pick up. So it's that easy. I know a lot of people are saying I don't want to take part in this process. Why do I need to vote? Rigging is going to happen anyway. My vote is not going to count. The honest truth is that if many of us, millions of young people, Nigerians who are eligible to vote, do not come to the polls, that means the people that we want to see in politics hold office, the people that we want to see represent us, will not be the ones that are there, right? They're not going to be there. We want to be able to engage politicians, to ask them critical issues, policy issues. Let the conversation be about policies, issue-based politics. What are we going to do to solve the problems that Nigerians are facing? If we don't even take that first step, that is our own responsibility as citizens, right? It's our civic responsibility to participate in the voting process. We can't now abandon that because of certain challenges, right? Because we need to take back our country, right? We need to ensure that the people who are coming out, ask them serious questions. Ask them, how are you going to solve the security issue? How are you going to solve it? How are we going to ask someone, how are they going to solve the issue? How are we going to hold them accountable if you don't even vote? The honest truth is, this is the first step that we as voters, as Nigerians, take part in. We can't abandon this step because of certain challenges that will come forward. Come election day, if you say, oh, I want to go and protect the vote, you can't protect anything if you haven't even taken part in the voting process, right? So, in order for us to be part of this process, we need to register to get our PVC. The honest truth, this exercise is open till 10 July 2026. After that, the voting process, I just said voting process. After that, the continuous registration exercise ends. And it ends like that. Till the next time that INEC has a continuous voters registration exercise, you cannot update your information, meaning that you have disenfranchised yourself. I know that it may look bleak right now, what's happening in the country. It may not be positive. You may be having JAPA plans, but these are critical issues that we're facing right now in our country. And it's important that as young people, as Nigerians, we come out and, say we have taken part in ensuring that we cast our votes for who we want, who would make a difference in our country. And the first step in doing that is that you have your PVC. Most times we forget and think that it's only the presidential elections that happen. It's not only the presidential elections that happen. You have the presidential election, which is at the federal level. You have the National Assembly elections where we are picking our senators, we are picking our House of Reps members at the federal level. We have governorship elections. We have local government elections that different states are having at different times. So these are really critical elections happening. But most times we fear presidential elections, that's the only one we think about. But there are different layers of elections. There are the local government elections, there are the governorship elections, state house of assembly elections in different states. At the federal, you have the Senate, the National Assembly, sorry, the House of Reps, Senate, the House of Reps, and you have the presidential election. So if you're a young person, you haven't yet taken part in this process, please do. This is really a call to action for you to take part in this process. It's also a call to action for us to, through our own awareness, to also encourage others. If you have 5 friends and you can encourage those 5 friends, you can even help them with the process. If they do not understand the process, in your community, you can start helping people register, right? Raising that awareness. That this is the last few days that we have to galvanize ourselves to take part in this process, to push and push to ensure that every Nigerian registers, updates their information, because Nigeria is ours. The honest truth is Nigeria is home. No matter how far you go, no matter how different you travel wide, when you travel, you're always looking for Nigeria. We're like, oh, I want to try the Nigeria cuisine. Even if you explore other cuisines, you always miss home. So Nigeria would always be home to us. This is our home. And we need to ensure that we cast our vote. If Nigeria is our home, is our plan A, right? We have no other place than Nigeria, right? So elections are really, really critical for us. So like I said, the exercise, first time voters, eligible voters, people have lost their PVC, people who are transferring. All you need to do is go to cvr.inecnigeria.org, or you can visit the INEC offices in your area closest to you. Like I said, this closes 10th July 2026. After the deadline, you cannot update the information, neither can you register. So please and please, a call to action to every Nigerian to ensure that they take part in this exercise. So what happens after the CVR exercise ends, right? Following this, INEC will display the voters register for claims and objections. This will happen from July 23rd to 29th. You can check the register, claims and objections. If you have any objections, you can raise it. This is a statutory process that allows citizens to scrutinize the protest register to ensure that it helps INEC to ensure that it's accurate, complete, and credible as well. So this process is what happens after the registration closes. So like I said that they had different phases. So after the first phase, also INEC opened the published it so people can scrutinize for claims and objections as well. So ensure that you take part in this process. If you have been procrastinating, if you've been saying, I will do it later, I will do it later, is it not just online? I'll just click the INEC registration portal and update my details, transfer my details, or register my details as a Facebook. If you have been procrastinating, stop now. Stop today. Because this is your last opportunity to be part of the continuous voters registration exercise by INEC because it comes to an end July 10th. And without your PVC, you cannot vote. Sadly, no matter how you want to champion the cause to ensure that the next person that we vote into office for president, National Assembly, Senate, or House of Reps, State House of Reps, you know, pushes the agenda of the nation. It will not happen if you do not cast your vote. So ensure that you today now take out your phone, click and update your information if you've already registered. If you want to transfer, transfer. If you've lost your PVC or damaged it, do that as well. You can also visit the INEC office to be able to update your information. You don't want to miss out on this process. No PVC, no voting. Just remember that one, that no PVC, no voting. Also, let's not be discouraged about the electoral process. Don't say, my vote is not going to count. Nigeria is not my own. I'm going to Japan. Nigeria is our home. And in order for us to ensure that we put in leaders who are credible, leaders who are accountable, leaders who would push for national development, who address the critical national issues, economic issues that we are facing right now in Nigeria. We need to ensure that we vote credible leaders. And in order for you to do that, you first have to get your PVC. So get your PVC. Honestly, Nigeria belongs to you and I. We have to ensure that we're part of the process. So click on the website below and complete the registration process and help others. And ask your friends today. Let's start by asking our friends. Ask your friends today. Have they updated their information? Where's their PVC? Ask them to put it on your status and drive the engagement and education around the elections and how people can get their PVC. As young people, we all need to ensure that we lend our voices to the cause. If you can't be out there in politics, taking part, running for elections, you can raise more awareness, educate more people. If you're able to change the life of one person in your community, then you have made a difference, even if it's just in the life of that person, even if it's in the life of two people. So even if it's in your home, ask people, do you have your PVC? If they don't, help them to register. Assist them for your parents. You can assist them to update their information, your siblings. You can also help them. Also educate them on the process, so why it's important that we take part in the process. And also educate them on things to avoid. Going to be having more conversations on things to avoid during the election. So stick around to the governance discourse. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for joining me on today's episode. This has been the governance discourse, and I'm sure that it has changed your perspective today. So, call to action. Let's go out and let's ensure that we are part of the process. We are part of the change. We create a table for ourselves as young people, and if there's no table, we bring our own table. Thank you.